Detective Ray surely did his research here in this video today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be trying to uncover when the next Brawl Talk is going to be coming out with facts and logic. Not only that, I'm pretty sure a few brawlers are coming out in this update, one of which I got a good feeling I know it's Rarity, and I have a good feeling I know what this update theme is going to be for Season 15. All will be explained in this episode. Detective Ray going in, dude. So I'm sure you guys are all aware at this point, but I always try to do my best to keep up to date with updates, speculation, as well as accurate predictions as to when things are going to be coming up, as well as covering said updates. So if you guys enjoy or find this content useful or helpful in any way, be sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm assuming there's going to be more of this to come, that's for sure. So this fun little escapade ended up beginning yesterday with a tweet that came out over here on the official Brawl Stars Twitter page saying, "No pain, no gain. Gus's new gadget sacrifices 30% of his health to fill the soul bar instantly and help him heal an ally." Now it's cool that Gus's new gadget came out. However, that's not the most important bit of detail coming from this photo in terms of update speculation and prediction here. Not gonna lie, I feel like there's only a few different little Easter eggs that we can go off of, or at least that's getting the Brawl Stars community talking. One of which that is definitely really interesting is this shadow in the background that looks like a raccoon. This brings us back once again to the photo that was released when Gus was first released here with a juicy amount of Easter eggs as well. We have the raccoon here in the trash can. So a raccoon popping up on two separate occasions, I guess you could say, is pretty dang important. We kind of chalked this initial raccoon up to being the new Lolo skin that came out in the update. However, seeing a shadow of, I guess, what looks like a raccoon popping up once again seems a little bit suspicious to me. Maybe hinting at maybe a skin coming out in the next update, or maybe something even more important. Knowing Brawl Stars, details like this don't typically translate to nothing. Just to kind of prove my point, for example, before we get into the thick of things, Brawl Stars is definitely well known to sneak peek Easter eggs well in advance before the update is coming out. Much like Gus's second gadget advertisement, we have this ability here, Otis's second star power, but we got the very first detail of one of the newest brawlers coming out, a homage to Sam, right? His traps. And this came out on August 8th, man. Don't hold it against the Brawl Stars dev team, I'm telling you that much. And another one here, literally in an advertisement for the most difficult challenge that came out some time ago. It truly doesn't matter what the photo is in regards to. Sneak peeks tend to work their way in. For example, they sneak peek both brawlers in this photo, Gus's balloon and Sam's trap once again. So when it comes to photos much like this, I think we can all get behind the notion of looking too far into things isn't necessarily a bad thing, which in the past it sometime was looked down upon. So much like those juicy Easter eggs that we saw before, seeing this raccoon popping up on two separate occasions is giving me some intrigue. New brawler, new skin, something related to the new update. Some other details that people were pointing out, this flashlight was a little bit interesting, but I think it's just to kind of showcase the setting, seeing that Gus was kind of looking around. He doesn't need the flashlight anymore because he found his second gadget. But other than that, I feel like the smaller things in the background, that's just about it for those. However, the biggest one that got a lot of people talking is the scratches on Gus's face here. Believe it or not, people are theorizing that this very well could be Roman numerals. Now, of course, when I first saw this, I was incredibly skeptical, but even if I am skeptical, I'm still going to dive headfirst into certain things like this to see if there is some sort of fun connection. Now, I'm not going to lie, I looked into this a little bit more than I'm proud of. However, looking at the markings on his face, a lot of them are just gibberish, right? Showing that he's been through a little bit in search for this second gadget. Just random marks on his cheek, on his forehead, on his other cheek, and even on his legs down here. He's been through a little bit of a beating. However, the ones in particular that are interesting are on his chin. Now again, very skeptical about this at first. However, I feel like it's very important to bring this up in terms of what we're about to dive into in terms of additional research here. So the markings initially that people ended up taking are this one, a little bit of this one, and this one. X in Roman numerals is 20, and X is a 10, V is 5, and if we're counting these little hash marks, those are just 1. So for example, if this is 5 and these are connected to the 5, this would be 7 altogether. Now you really have to do some stretching in order to come to this conclusion. However, I'm kind of taking these dash marks as spaces or just random scratches thrown into the mix of this potential date being Easter egged in Roman numerals on his chin. On top of that, I decided to disregard this cross out here as well, seeing that it's kind of similar to the scratches that he has on his face, kind of like this, a few dashes, a line through it, a few dashes, a line through it, a few dashes, a line through it. So I guess it's not necessarily an X, but if you take that out of the equation, you have a 10 here, a 10, and then a 5. So if you add it all together, you have 10 October, 1/5 being 15th. So people were running with this saying October 15th, the next Brawl Talk. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I was thinking the same exact thing when I was seeing this and trying to piece it together. Hey, Ray, you're looking way too far into it, dude. They're just scratches on his face. And you know what? Even if they are, I'm thankful I went very in-depth with this because it led me down a trail to figure out this date a little bit more accurately. So, as skeptical as I was about October 15th found in Roman numerals on Gus's scratched face, the next important step is trying to prove whether or not that date makes sense. Thankfully, seeing that we're more than 5 years into Brawl Stars, we can take a look at past updates around this time. Now, I've mentioned this a few times, let's say, in our recent episodes of Brawl News, that there is an ongoing schedule or pattern going on with Brawl Stars updates. There wasn't necessarily a great pattern or schedule to the earlier updates, for example, the very first Brawl Pass, but where we start seeing a pattern arise is around when Amber was released, along with the Star Park update. We found out that the Brawl Stars dev team tends to release one legendary brawler every single year around this time, during the October update or a month-ish before it. Amber's a good example there, coming out during the Brawl-O-Ween update 2 years ago, and then the only other example we have here is when Meg was released in between the Once Upon a Brawl update as well as last year's Brawl-O-Ween update. Now, changes have also been made since then, and that is the duration of the Brawl Pass seasons. It was staple around this time in all of the Brawl Pass updates before to have a Brawl Pass season being 70 days long. However, just recently, taking a look at my notes here at the bottom, the duration of the Brawl Pass season has changed quite substantially from 70 days, not 71, that's an error in my days there, but around season 10 is where we saw some changes being made, right? 50-day Brawl Pass season, then season 11 was 57, season 12 64, season 13 64, and then season 14 once 57, now 63. So this recent Brawl Pass duration change definitely made things a bit more different compared to last year's Brawl-O-Ween update. Whereas before, around this time, we would have an update in between seasonal updates to introduce that brand new legendary brawler into the game. Seeing that we had so much more time in between those updates, it made sense to be able to fit in another update that wasn't introducing a brand new chromatic brawler. Here, for example, in between the Star Park update as well as the Lou update, we got Amber. And then last year here, in between the Once Upon a Brawl update and the Brawl-O-Ween update, we got that legendary Meg update. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is, if you guys didn't know, we are well past somewhat of a midway point where it would make sense to release an update specifically dedicated for a legendary brawler here. If they wanted to release that update for just a legendary brawler coming to the game, it would have had to have come out a few weeks ago. So since we're past that point, it makes it much easier to come to a definitive date where Brawl Talk could be coming out. And with that being said, the next important metric that we need to hone in on that's going to help us out tremendously is the time in between when a Brawl Talk comes out and when the actual seasonal update arrives to the game in past updates. Believe it or not, there's a pattern there as well, everyone, that is going to help us out so much. So way back in the day with seasonal updates, it was a little bit weird when it came to when the Brawl Talk came out and then the update came out. It seemed like there wasn't really a schedule that we could follow in the beginning when it came to that duration. For example, the very first Brawl Pass update came out May 9th, and then it actually arrived in game May 13th. 4 days. And then, for example, for the Brawl-A-Days update, when we got Lou, the Brawl Talk came out November 9th, and the actual Brawl Pass came out November 23rd, with the exception that this kind of seems to happen in December. However, a pattern with this later on began to arise, starting in no particular order. It really doesn't matter because there's a plethora of examples here, but just for example, starting off here with Season 6, the Gold Arm Gang Brawl Talk came out April 3rd, and then the new Brawl Pass came out on April 12th. 12th, 9 days. Season 7, Jurassic Splash, came out June 12th, and the actual Brawl Pass came out on June 21st. 9 days again. Season 8, Once Upon a Brawl, the Brawl Talk coming out August 21st, the actual Brawl Pass coming out August 30th. 9 days, and this pattern would continue throughout except for a few different ones. Like I said before, the December updates, the Brawl-A-Days updates are pretty dang long. Most of the time we get 2 brawlers in there. The one that isn't the chromatic comes out before, but normally we get the Brawl Talk and then it takes about a month for the actual season to come out. But taking a look at it here, Season 10 was 37 days because it was the Brawl-A-Days update. Season 12 was 9 days. Season 11 up there at the top, 9 days. 13, 9 days, and so on and so forth. Now I'm bringing all of this up because the December update isn't the only exception to this 9-day in between the Brawl Talk as well as the Brawl Pass coming out. The only other one are the October updates, the Brawl-O-Ween updates. The Season 9 Brawlywood update of course announced the Brawlywood theme coming to the game, but towards the end or somewhat towards the middle, Brawl-O-Ween was announced, introducing new skins, Graveyard Shift coming back to the game, and a few other interesting things to celebrate Brawl-O-Ween. So this was the Brawl-O-Ween update, but the Brawl Talk was released on October 23rd, and the actual Brawl Pass being available to the player base coming out on November 8th, so it is 16 days, not 9, an additional 7 days or 1 more week. And the reason this is the exception of the 9-day pattern being broken is because Halloween falls right in between these 2 dates. So you can kind of think of these Brawl-O-Ween updates almost like a 2-parter, right? We have the new theme coming to the game, but we're also celebrating Brawl-O-Ween. Where the Brawl-O-Ween stuff that's announced during this update, whether it's skins, a new game mode, or even a potential new brawler, the duration is expanded to 16 days to give time for that content to come out before the seasonal Brawl Pass. Right in the middle being around October 31st, so we can have fun with that Halloween update content. So seeing that Brawl Stars updates loves patterns apparent with what we've been talking about in this video, we should apply this 16-day durational change from 9 days to this update that's coming out here shortly. So if we're trying to prove the Roman numerals on Gus's face translating to October 15th being this next Brawl Talk, we can count 16 days from that predicted Brawl Talk date based on our timelines from last year's Halloween update, and it should land exactly when Season 14's Brawl Pass would be ending and then moving into Season 15. So 16 days from October 15th is actually specifically October 31st, Halloween itself, which was when Season 14 was supposed to be ending. As mentioned in a recent episode of Brawl News, the duration of Season 14's Brawl Pass was recently changed from October 31st to November 7th, an additional 7 days. So if this 16-day timeline between Brawl-O-Ween Brawl Talk and the actual update coming out stays strong, this would fall through. Counting back 16 days from November 7th, when Season 14 should end, will land on October 22nd. Or, you know, seeing that the Brawl Pass added 7 days, you can just add 7 days to the predicted October 15th, right? October 22nd, which conveniently falls on a Saturday, which all Brawl Talks tend to be released on. Not only that, it makes way more sense based on last year's Brawl-O-Ween update for Halloween to land in between these 2 date durations, not right smack dab at the end of Season 14, which it once was. And I mean, if we want to take it further, making it 90% certain that it's coming out on the 22nd, if you just take a look at when the actual Brawl Talk came out last year, being October 23rd, it fell literally on the exact same Saturday last year, being the 23rd. The second to last Saturday in the month of October. If you guys didn't know, every single year we move forward 1 day. So October this year, the second to last Saturday is October 22nd. And you know what? To make it 95% certain, Season 9's Brawl Pass, the Brawl-O-Ween last year's update, ended up beginning on November 8th. And the Season 15 update, the updates Brawl Talk in which we're trying to predict here in this video, is going to be coming out on November 7th, the same exact Monday this year. So it's just uncanny, very certain, let's say 95% now in this video, that the next Brawl Talk is coming out on October 22nd. But with my prediction date out there for all of you guys, at least try my best to showcase as much evidence to support that date, I lastly want to get straight away segue into what I think makes sense for things to come out in this update based on past updates, as well as predicting the theme. Seeing that we didn't get the dedicated Brawl Talk for a legendary brawler before this Brawl-O-Ween update that we're heading into, because the Brawl Pass duration has changed in recent updates, if the Brawl Stars dev team wants to keep on the schedule of adding a legendary brawler every single update, this next Brawl Talk, I got a good feeling, is going to be quite big. I'm guessing maybe 2 brawlers coming to the game, 1 legendary and 1 chromatic. The only reason I'm guessing legendary is based solely on that schedule that we've been seeing 1 legendary per year coming out around this time, but I guess I could be wrong about that, seeing that there has been some changes in recent years. But with the potential legendary brawler coming in this next update fun, I next want to transition into the theme. More than a month ago now, Lex brought up a really awesome predicted update theme based on theories from individuals inside of the community revolving around some sort of food court. He goes into explanation that this update theme has kind of been under our nose for quite some time, first being spotted and kind of not really noticed from the Invest in Your Future video, having some sort of food stand area. Most of the areas within the Invest in Your Future video have already been past update themes that are definitely a little bit more rich in Brawl Stars lore once introduced into the game, and he proposed that this update could be the next one. Not only that, there's a lot of really interesting food items found in various photos popping up inside the Brawl Stars community, whether it's drinks, pizza boxes, and he proposed that this theme has a really solid chance coming to the game. At the time, he predicted it for the next update when Sam and Gus arrived, but I think right now it makes the most sense for this theme to arrive for Season 15. Seeing that the Brawl Stars dev team loves to give us juicy Easter eggs explained at the beginning of this video, I think it makes a ton of sense as to why we see, for example, rodents in the background for these supposed Easter eggs, right? We got this mouse eating a slice of pizza, maybe correlated to that pizza box found in various spots inside the Brawl Stars community, and a great explanation for why a raccoon keeps popping up, right? Raccoons are known for rummaging through the trash cans for food, which would be a perfect place for them to hang out if they do want food in a food court area within Star Park. And I think it's another great explanation as to why we're seeing the raccoon popping up in this most recent photo posted yesterday, right? It's this photo's Easter egg for the update to come, if indeed that is the theme. Why else would a raccoon be hanging out in this environment if not for food laying around the food court? So I think this update theme has a ton of potential being some sort of ghostly haunted food court theme, right? With the introduction to Gus, it would be a perfect transition into this next update, seeing that he's a bit more interesting than other brawlers, a little bit more lore dense, a little bit more Star Park and spooky. I think it makes a ton of sense that the dev team would have released him in last update, kind of for a layup for this very next update. So that's my prediction, at least for the theme, some sort of haunted or spooky food court theme with ghostly stuff as the main centerpiece, with, I'm assuming, a brawler fitting into the Gus family, maybe the legendary brawler, or even maybe the chromatic brawler, or maybe both. But I think I talked long enough in this video here today. It was very fun arriving at the conclusion that we did in this video. I adore doing this type of stuff. It's very rewarding. So, you know, hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the effort or found it useful, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, I'd appreciate it, and make sure to stay tuned for additional update info. You guys know your boy Ray's on top of that stuff. But yeah, you guys, hopefully you all enjoyed yourselves here today. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you all in the next one. Adios and take care.